friend. My name is Ash and this is the home of FC24 tactics here on YouTube. No one puts more research and analysis and replicates these systems more effectively than this channel right here. So thank you very much for joining me and welcome along. Our focus today shifts to what Kieran McKenna's Manchester United tactics could and might look like in FC24. Now what we do is we take his principles, his style of play, his previous systems, which I have actually already covered on Patreon, his Ipswich system, so do go and check that out along with lots of other exclusive tactics as well. I think you'll find that one really interesting. And what we do is we tailor that to this current team. So we see how we could tweak that and adapt that to this Manchester United team to formulate a prediction for what his system and what the lineup could look like if he was manager. Not only want to give you the tactics and the player instructions, but also let it explain why we've chosen certain players in each position and how that's going to play into his style of play. So with that being said, let's start off with the position changes and the formation itself. We've replicated what we've seen at his Ipswich side, which is kind of that 4-2-3-1, 4-3-3, whatever you prefer. Before anyone comments at me, there is no difference. It's just something that fans really get stuck on and hung up on. You know, those of us in football, we don't really talk about it in formations that much. It's more about the roles and the shape within that. So whatever you want really, the formation itself is this 4-2-1-3 that you'll see in the formations tab. Then there are a couple of position changes. One thing is we're going to move up Luke Shaw to this left wing back role, similar to what Leif Davis does for his Ipswich team, where he pushes up and sometimes he's in line with the front three in the attacking phase. Whereas the right back over on the other side, we've gone with Diogo Dalot. I think a player who's going to be more suited to this style of play in this more balanced role than someone like Wan-Bissaka. And he's someone who has a more varied approach to attacking phases, not always contributing and not that out and out inverted fullback either, but someone who can be a balanced approach between the two. We've got the two DMs here, McTominay and Mino. I think Mino's probably pretty self-explanatory in this case. I think whoever's going to be the Man United manager, he's going to be a key part of that. McTominay, on the other hand, this is probably somewhere you'd see they'd strengthen. You know, we've got Amrabat here. Do they kind of make him permanent or not? Does he go back? Casemiro, I don't think has the mobility in order to play this role. We've seen the likes with Morsi and Luongo at Ipswich. They're a little bit more mobile and they can get around the park a bit quicker and cover more ground. Casemiro just doesn't really have that physical upside. So, you know, I think this is a position that where I've had to kind of shoehorn McTominay in, but I think you'll probably see a change there. The front four, quite obvious really. We would have probably liked to get Diallo in here. That's another player who I think he'll really like and one who's kind of been on the fringes here and there this season. Mason Mount is another one, I think. Again, where do you fit him into this side? You know, really is going to be in that Fernandes role, and you know, I don't think Bruno Fernandes is going to be dropped for that. So, you know, whether or not they kind of shoehorn him into this midfield and have him and Mino in there, maybe that's something he would think about doing. But in this case, for the sake of balance, we've kept him on the bench. Now, from a tactical perspective, starting off with the defensive style, we have pressure on heavy touch, something we also did with his Ipswich system as well. And what we're looking for there is something that's a little bit of a balance in between that passive kind of low block where we let the opposition come into our own half, and also that kind of relentless press, somewhere in the middle of that. So pressure on heavy touch, it's going to give you a nice variation between that. Team width is on 30, which is the lowest you can have it in the balance section before it goes to narrow. Then the depth is 60. I think he'll retain this mid block that is generally used at Ipswich as well. Part of that is the defence and the personnel that we have available at our defence. You know, I've got Maguire in here. You know, for me personally, I think I would be looking for another sense back there. Obviously, Varane's leaving, Lindelof's getting older. I doubt Johnny Evans kind of stays here for another year. So, you know, we need someone there. But with this defence, it's not blessed with pace. It's not extremely slow either, but not blessed with pace. I think this mid-block is probably more suited to the personnel at hand here. What do we have in possession then? Well, the build-up play is on slow build-up, but then the chance creation is forward runs, something I've spoken about on Patreon as well. He likes his teams to play through the thirds. We've seen at times an extreme attitude and extreme approach to making sure that they progress out from the back at goalkeeper restarts. They will kind of try and play through press under duress, no problem. But then when they get into the attacking half, they're really looking for that high volume of movement. They will move the ball quickly. They will move the ball at a higher tempo, shift it up a gear, and forward runs are going to play nicely. You are going to see similarities between this and kind of how they set up in the Ollie Reign, at least in the early days. There are a lot of similarities there. The width is on 40. I find this is a nice number to kind of get that balance between making sure your players aren't too stretched and there is too many the gaps are too big in between each kind of vertical line, but at the same time, you want to get players drifting out wider. You want to get them exploiting the space that's created with that forward runs. So this is going to work nicely. Players in the box is on 7, giving you roughly 4, maybe 5 players in the box at times, but generally it's going to be 4. And then corners and free kicks, both of these are on 4. Now, from a player instructions perspective, what do we have? Well, first of things first, before we do get into that, I want to quickly say, if you want to see lots of exclusive tactics videos, such as McKenna's Ipswich that we've already spoken about, Martin Southampton, we've got Leeds United on there, we've got PSV, Galatasaray, Leicester, Enzo Maresca's Leicester, we've got Rangers coming up and Sheffield Wednesday as well. We've got a whole range of tactics, exclusive tactics on there. On top of that, we've also got the FC24 tactics package, rankings and ratings of every real system I cover on the channel, behind the scenes videos of my scouting career and a whole lot more, Discord server access, Fantasy Football League access and a whole lot more. It's the best way to support the channel and it is what is keeping the channel going. So I want to say a huge thank you to all my patrons as well. And it is having an absolute boom at the moment. Lots of people signing up to it. So I think you guys will really enjoy it as well. So do go and check that out. All the links are, well, I'd say down below, but these days, if you're on a computer, they're kind of at the side now. So at the side or down below. Now with these player instructions then, Anana, we've got him on comes to crosses and sweeper keeper. We know how he likes to play from a personal perspective, so no changes there. Again, with these centre backs, nothing to change. You can leave these guys as they are. Dalot is actually, again, doesn't require any changes. He's on balance attack and mixed attack, as we spoke about already. He'll contribute to those attacking phases of play, but he's not a constant overlapping attacking fullback. Instead, what they're going to look for in this system is for him to provide a little bit of balance. Shaw, on the other hand, as that attacking, overlapping fullback, he's going to be on join the attack for attacking runs, and his run type is going to be on overlap. Now, McTominay and Mano, you can have these either way round. I personally decided that with Dalot being on the right-hand side, we wanted the more attacking central midfielder to be on that side as well, just to complement that, make sure you've got some protection for him. So with Mino, he's on cut passing lanes and his attacking support is on balance attack. Meanwhile, defensive position is cover wing and his defensive position freedom is D-line playmaker. Now with McTominay, slightly different. His attacking support is stay back whilst attacking. He's going to protect Shaw, who's going to step forward. What they like at Ipswich is one of the centre midfielders will push up and contribute to the attack and the other one stays back. Now, with the gameplay on this, you can't get that variation. You have to set one or the other. So in this case, we have McTominay as staying back and Mino pushing forward a little bit more. Fernandez as that cam. He's on comeback on defence to get him tracking back. And then support on crosses is getting to the box with the cross. Positioning freedom is stick to position. Let's talk about the front three then, shall we? Starting off with Rashford over on the left-hand side. He's on comeback on defence. Chance creation is cut inside. He's going to complement Shaw, who's going to be overlapping on that side. So it's going to help to form that front four that we spoke about earlier on in the video. And as a result, he'll get closer to the striker, which is Højlund in this case. Support runs is getting behind, as we've already spoken about, that volume and the high tempo of the movement and the runs, that's going to play into that. And then support on crosses is naturally getting to the box of the cross. Slightly different over on the other side with Garnacho, because this time his chance creation is going to be on balance to it, where sometimes he's going to stay out wide, and when kind of the ball goes over to the other side, he'll probably get sucked in with the shape and then he'll cut inside more. Whereas his support runs, defensive support and also support on crosses, they're all going to be the same as what Rashford was as well. We're going to finish with Højlund up top then. Stay central for the support runs. Attacking runs is on mixed attack. Now, they've had Kiefer Moore this season, who has generally played more of that target man role. He's been a link-up man more than anything, linking up with the wingers and the mobile players around him. Now, Højlund obviously very, very pacey, and he's got that mobility, unlike Kiefer Moore, who doesn't have that high-end pace that Højlund does. So as a result, we've changed this from target man to mixed attack, and I think he'll provide a really good balance in between both of them, sometimes looking to kind of play on the shoulder of the last man and spring in behind, but also looking to kind of peel off and link up the play, show for the ball as well. And finally, his defence support is going to be stay forward. And so that just about rounds it off for this video. As I've spoken about already, if you want to get access to exclusive tactics videos, including McKenna's Ipswich tactics, check out my Patreon. All the links will be in the description and the comment section as well. Make sure to hit the subscribe button and ring the bell to get notifications every time I upload so you don't miss a thing. And until the next one, thank you so much for watching, everyone, and I will see you soon.